Hey everyone, welcome to English 112. I wanted to give you a brief course introduction since we started yesterday. I wanted to show you a little bit in Blackboard for this first week. If you look in Blackboard, once you've logged in, you've got 5 components here, tabs here on the left corner. If you click on announcements, this is where I will have any announcements that I put, which will be reminders for due dates and so forth. But I will also send those straight to your CVCC email as well, so you'll get them in both places. Getting started. If you look here in the Getting Started tab, you'll have, first and foremost, the mandatory syllabus quiz. This needs to be submitted by September 25th by midnight. If you do not submit by that day and time, you'll be withdrawn from the class, because this is what's called our census, and we give students a little bit of leeway to get into the class, and this quiz solidifies your enrollment in the course. So it must be completed. Please understand that if you miss any of these questions for this mandatory syllabus quiz, it does not count against you. This is just for enrollment purposes only. It's not going to affect your grade, so it will be perfectly fine if you missed every single one of them, as long as you attempted it and submitted it. Then you have the master syllabus for the course, and underneath that you'll have my syllabus. You'll have the syllabus here and then the assignment schedule to let you know what we'll be working on this semester. We'll click on that in a second. You have my information here. Email is the easiest way to reach me because that's where I'm at all the time. I'm online, so feel free to email me there. Course navigation guide, it walks you through the steps in what to look for in here, where to go to, things like that. But I really have tried to make it very easy to navigate the course, so you don't have to click on this to click on this to click on this. So how the course works, the Writing Center info. If you feel that you ever need extra assistance on any of your essays or assignments, feel free to contact the Writing Center. They do online or virtual tutoring, so definitely use them. It's a free resource, and they're there to help. Netiquette, making sure that you use proper etiquette when you're online. That means being respectful when emailing your instructor, making sure that you are very specific with what you're asking in your emails, making sure that you do not use offensive language, especially through discussion boards or through correspondence with me through email, or even in your papers. You got to keep in mind that you're writing academic college level papers, so not that I'm trying to censor anybody, but everybody needs to make sure they use tact and consider their audience. This is an academic audience you're writing for, so you need to make sure that you do not use any type of offensive, vulgar language. But this goes through and explains, proper etiquette. Making sure you don't use all caps because it looks like you're yelling, those types of things. Quality standards. This is just the standards for Catawba Valley Community College. I almost said Western Piedmont because I work for Western Piedmont as well. So you want to read through this, its expectations and things like that in general. And then if you need help with certain things, here are a list of little links that you could call or click on and go to. Now going back up to my syllabus, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Okay. Here's the textbook that you should have. And then if you scroll down, you've got some class policies here. You definitely have to complete the mandatory first assignment that I just spoke about. And let's go down to this next one. I want to encourage every student to log into Blackboard a minimum of 2 to 3 times per week. And that doesn't mean you're necessarily working on work, which you should be, but it doesn't necessarily mean that with each login. It may just be to check your grades, maybe to check announcements. It just shows me that you're actually logging into the course and that you are trying to complete the course. Because if you don't log in, then you're not going to be successful in the course, because you have to log in, you have to look at and read and study and complete the work. Students are responsible for withdrawing from the course. I would hope that you would not withdraw, but if you choose to withdraw from the course, that is up to you, that you have to take care of that. I do not withdraw students from the course. If you do not withdraw yourself and you have an F or you're not completing work, then you're going to end up with an F on your transcript and final grade. So if you do not plan to complete the course, discuss it with me and see if I can help or troubleshoot, how you can remain in the course. But you have to actually visit Student Services to complete the required paperwork in order to do that. Grading. No late work will be accepted. And the reason why I say this is because I usually give 2 weeks, sometimes more than that, to complete work. Everything is already uploaded into Moodle, so you can work ahead if you wanted to. The only thing you can't work ahead on is if every unit has a rough draft and a final draft. You obviously do not want to submit a final draft until you get your feedback from your rough draft grade. But you can go on to the next unit and complete the rough draft for that assignment if you wanted to, or the discussion board or whatever. So you can work ahead in that respect. But no late work will be accepted. You have to turn assignments in on time. We're a late start class, which means we didn't start till September 16th, which means we have a shorter semester. So kind of things are a little bit more fast paced. If you discuss with me beforehand, before the due date, if you are going to have to submit an assignment late, then I will certainly make exceptions for emergency circumstances. Point deductions will be taken, but will allow that. If you have to notify me at least the day before or the day of or the day after. If you wait a week and then realize, I forgot to turn this in, it won't be accepted. So please make sure you stay on top of that. There's a rubric or grading scale that I will provide mostly with every single essay you do. So you'll be able to see that in each unit. Improvement does count. I really do look at these rough drafts and the final drafts, and I always have students who improve by the end of the semester. So anytime I put a marking on your rough draft, please make sure you correct it for your final draft. All grades are posted in Blackboard, and you're responsible for tracking your grades. You'll see a column that will say class average or average, and that'll be your average once grading starts being put in. Here's the grading scale. We're at a 10-point grading scale. Here are what your grades are going to be based on. You've got a literary analysis essay, rhetorical analysis essay, informative report, and proposal. And then you've got some various assignments and discussion boards and a couple of quizzes. And if you notice that the rough draft and final draft are included in that percentage. So the rough draft is averaged with the final draft. So be sure you do your best on the rough drafts so that you have as high a grade possible for the final for each one. And then submitting assignments. All assignments need to be submitted in Blackboard. Do not email me assignments. Okay, emails fall through the cracks sometimes, and I don't want to be responsible for that. So everything needs to be kept in Blackboard. So submit work in Blackboard. And you have to make sure what you submitted correctly. Make sure it went through. Just double check that it's there. Make sure you submitted to the correct link. Students are responsible for all assignments and due dates. And make sure you submit in the correct format. You cannot submit a Google Doc. If you use Google Docs, you're going to have to download as a Word document or PDF before you submit. And even doing that sometimes can cause the formatting to be off. So your best bet is to use Microsoft Word to type your assignments in, save them to your computer, and then upload them in the submission links. Let's see. Yeah, making sure that your name is on your work, the class and the section numbers on your work. Make sure everything's set up in the correct format. Your assignments will also be run through a program called SafeAssign in Blackboard, which this is a plagiarism checker. It will check to anything that has been submitted previously to CVCC, and it also checks it against anything on the internet. So anything higher than a 50% is going to require a discussion with me, because it means that some of it is plagiarized or some of it is not cited. And whether it's intentional or not, it's still plagiarism and there are consequences. So you have to be careful with that. Never use Wikipedia as a source. It should never be used as a reference because it's not necessarily always a 100% correct source. The proposal essay, the final essay, serves as your final exam. This means that this essay is required. If you do not complete the final, you'll fail the class regardless of your average. So it has to be completed. Ask questions as soon as you need it. Don't wait till after the fact and say, well, I just didn't understand. Please email me with questions. I'm really quick to respond. There are no dumb questions ever. Just please ask questions, but I may refer you to documents and resources that you may need to read first before we discuss specific questions. And it says that you'll be dropped immediately if you show that you are being disrespectful. That can occur, so just please make sure you're being respectful because you are an adult and a member of this class. The academic dishonesty policy, this goes in with plagiarism, so make sure you read through this. These are all the different types of plagiarism that sometimes we don't think about. Plagiarism isn't just copying and pasting somebody else's work without giving credit, so you need to make sure you read through this, okay? You can receive zeros on assignments that are plagiarized. You can be dismissed and removed from a class for plagiarism. I've had students who have violated this and done it multiple times in one class, even after a warning, and they were withdrawn. I had one that was actually expected to graduate that semester and was withdrawn because she did it 3 times. So please make sure you do not do this. And on your rough drafts, I will mark things up and I'll say, wait a minute, this is plagiarized, you need to cite it, blah, blah, blah. And that way you kind of learn for the next essay. And then here's some supplemental or outside resources should you need them. So that's the syllabus. The assignment schedule is above it, and it gives you basically what your units are going to consist of. Okay? And it'll let you know what we're doing within each unit, and then the weeks that the unit will span, and kind of what's expected as far as assignments. Okay, so that's getting started. Then you've got course content. This right here is basically taking a lot of your resources that are in each of your units. Each unit, I think there's 6 units, each one of those units, and it's putting it here. So if you go down through here, it'll give you pretty much anything and everything you want to know. Here's the grading information, what your textbook looks like, what the learning outcomes are for the course, how the course works, different types of model essays, really, really good essays, what they look like. Library and database info, you're going to need this right here. If you click on this, especially when you start doing research, you're going to need to access this. This is in the course content tab, and it's called Library and Database Info. The Writing Center Assistance, and then each unit, it's 5 units, I'm sorry. Each unit has all of the readings here as well. And then, of course, assignments. You've got week 1. That's what we're in now, and it's pretty basic. You want to click on that, and you want to do everything that you need to do in each week or unit, okay? And you'll just follow top to bottom and do what you're asked to do. Now, when you get to the actual units, you're going to see that you're going to have a reading folder, a writing folder, and helpful resources. You will need to go through each one and read and study and ask questions when you need to. You'll also have a section that will have to the side, it'll say grade or grade center. You'll click on that, and that's how you can access your grades. So just know that everything you need is here, and you follow from top to bottom. Please ask any questions along the way. That's what I'm here for. Just don't wait to the last minute, because if it's submitted on a Sunday, which most of your work is submitted on Sunday nights, I'm with family on Sundays, so I will check email, but I don't check late at night. So if you message me and tell me that you can't do this or that, then I won't get it till Monday, and you'll end up with point deductions. So do not wait to the last minute to submit work, because we run into Wi-Fi issues, computer issues. Do not wait to the last minute. Have a great week, and let me know if you have any questions.